Okay, I'm going to pass over to Christy, who will carry on with the session.
Thank you, that was lovely, Karen. I feel quite soporific, so I'll try and carry that on. You don't have to stand at all. You can remain seated, but we're just going to do some very gentle stretching before we come to some breath work, a nod to a brain kriya, and then yoga nidra, and then the Tibetan relaxation. So it sounds a lot, but it goes quite quickly. So if you are going to come to standing, if not, stay in your chair, come to standing, lift and roll your shoulders and just drop them away from you. And then breathing in, circle your hands upwards, clasp, and reverse your palms up towards the ceiling. If you're standing, press your feet down. And breathing out, go to the left. Breathing in, come to the centre, and breathing out, come sideways to the right. Come into the centre as you breathe in, and breathing out, just turn slightly to the left. Come to the centre, and breathing out, turn slightly to the right. And come to the centre. And then releasing your hands back down to your waist, you're giving space for your lungs. And just testing your balance, which is your left and right brain hemispheres, to lift your heels. And then breathing out, lower your heels. Breathing in, turn your head to the left. Breathing out, turn your head to the right. In to the left. And out to the right. We're balancing the left and the right, just breathing in to the left and out to the right. And one more time, into the left and breathing out to the right. Release your hands downwards and lift and roll your shoulders once more, clasping your hands behind you and aiming your knuckles towards the floor. This opens up your shoulder, but also the lung meridians residing here, so it's also uplifting for the mood as you're lifting your sternum. And then release your hands. Circle your wrists upwards like sun rays, or perhaps moon rays as we're coming to the evening, and then just circle your hands down. And then again circle your hands upwards and circle them downwards. Open your fingers and curl them in. Open them and curl them in. And then just flick your hands out. And come to sway in this very familiar side-to-side movement. You can lift your heels. Your abdomen or your navel almost guides the movement. And this works on all 5 energies in Eastern tradition. From the base Apana energy, right the way through to the upper Udana energy, which is believed to circulate through the throat upwards and into the brain. So movement and vibration and what Karen was doing on the EFT all serves the same purpose in many ways, to just create a vibration, sort of the opposite of stagnation. And obviously Karen's work can be quite targeted. This is just a general movement. And then very gently come to slow your side-to-side movement down. And come, when you've come to a standstill, to just readjust your foot position so that your feet are comfortably hip-width apart. Breathing in and breathing out, bring your hands to your heart center. Breathing in, raising your hands up. Looking either up or straight ahead, that depends on your neck capacity. And then breathing out, bring your hands through your heart center, soften your knees, and carry on down with your hands either touching the floor, your fingers touching the floor, or touching your shins. Breathing in, lengthen your spine from the tailbone to the top of the head. And breathing out, soften your knees, soften your elbows. Press your feet into the ground to support you as you rise up to standing. Raising your hands up, palms touch, and come through the centre. Breathing in, circle your hands up, touch palms, come through the centre as you bend your knees and bend your elbows, coming down once more to touch your fingers either on the floor or against your shins. Breathe in to lengthen along your spine. Breathe out, bend in, and then breathing in, press your feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing, raising your hands up. Come to bring your hands to your heart centre, and then come in your own time to come to the mat on all fours. If you're on carpet, that's fine. If you're sitting, then you can stay seated and just lift up and down. We're going to be doing cat-cow, but you can do it in a seated position. So hands are either on your knees if you're seated, or on the ground. They are shoulder height apart, shoulder width apart, and knees are hip width apart. And just sway your bottom from side to side. And then explore turning your right hand with your fingers to face your right knee. And just sway your bottom from side to side. Turn the right hand around. And then turn your left hand around so that your left fingers face towards your left knee. And just sway your bottom from side to side. Turn your left hand round, your hands and fingers are facing forwards, and coming into cat as you dip your back, looking either up or along the mat. Breathing out, start to round your back, your chin comes to your chest. If you were seated, you will be lifting up, sitting up and curling forward. Again, dipping your back as you breathe in, bottom up, away from you, cat, and then breathing out, cow, chin comes to chest. And last time, breathing in as we warm the spine up in cat, dipping the back, looking either up or along the mat. And last time, breathing out, chin to chest. The action of the chin coming to the chest activates the vagus nerve, which is calming to the nervous system. And then come back to a neutral back. And then come to the side. We're going to be coming to lying on our backs. Feet on the floor, knees are up, hip width apart. And just place your hands on your abdomen, elbows out, and just sway both knees from side to side. Your feet are hip width apart, they can be a little bit wider. And then coming back to the centre, keep your right foot where it is as you hug your left knee into the chest. And then dropping your hands to support your left thigh. Lift your left leg up to the ceiling. There can be a bend in your left knee. And extend your left heel. Point your left toes. Extend the heel and point the toes. And once more, as you begin to wake the foot up. And then circle the left ankle in one direction. And then very gently circle the left ankle in the other direction. And then bend that left knee in towards the chest in this variation of working on your apana energy or apanasana movement. It's pain releasing. And then turning as you support your left knee, turn the left knee out to the left and just rest your left ankle on top of your right thigh. Your hands can be resting on your abdomen, elbows out. Or you can, if you prefer, rest your hands, palms down on the ground. And just very gently sway your legs from side to side. Your hips will just lift slightly. You can join in with your head as well. You can turn your head from side to side. That's optional. And then supporting your left knee, either holding it or underneath the thigh to lift your left foot off your right leg and just place the left foot back on the ground. Just swaying your knees from side to side, bring them back to the centre. And now hug your right knee into your chest. Enjoying that apanasana movement. This connects into the right side, so your liver and gallbladder, if you've had any tension or frustration during the day. And then very gently support your right leg underneath by holding the thigh and raising the right leg to the ceiling, extending the right heel, pointing the right toes, heel and toes, breathing in, extend the heel, breathing out, point the toes. And then start to circle the right ankle in one direction. And then very gently start to circle the right ankle in the other direction. And then hug the right knee into the chest. And holding the right knee as you open the right knee out to the right, resting your right ankle on top of your left leg, your left top of the thigh, and then hands either on the abdomen or resting palms down on the floor as you sway your knees very gently from side to side. Come back to the centre, hug the right knee into the chest, and then bring the left knee in, so you're hugging both knees into the chest. Just open your knees fractionally away from one another, you're still holding them. Your knees are in a V, and just make little tiny circles with your knees. So you're moving your legs, getting movement in your hip sockets, and then just very gently reverse your circle, circling in the other direction. Your circle can be tiny, it can be wider, your choice. And then hug both knees into the chest. Still holding the knees, let the knees drift away to arm's length as you breathe in. And breathing out, hugging both knees into the chest. We're working back on that apana, lower energy. Breathing in, let both knees drift away. And breathing out, hug both knees into the chest. Breathing in, let the knees drift away. And breathing out, hug the knees into the chest. You could just slightly rock from side to side so that you are massaging across the top of your bottom or the lower back part. Your hips will lift slightly. And then supporting your legs underneath, maybe as you place one foot and then the other foot back onto the earth. Your feet are hip width apart, your knees are up towards the ceiling. And then just very gently place your hands at the sternum or just below the sternum. They naturally fall at the solar plexus level. And this becomes a heart opener as you keep your elbows on the ground and just very gently open your palms out to the side as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, you bring your fingers back to wherever they fall naturally on your body. Breathing in, just open your palms and the arms out to the side, your elbows stay on the ground. Breathing out, bring your hands back and feel the air just moving between your fingers. So this is the element of air, which links to the sense of touch, which links to the heart. Breathing in, opening your hands out to the side. And breathing out, bringing your hands back to the centre. And just rest your hands either at the solar plexus or on the abdomen, or one on the abdomen, one on the solar plexus. Just rest your hands comfortably on your body. And with your attention, move up now to the neck and throat area. And just very gently breathing in, turn your head to the left. And breathing out as you turn your head to the right. You don't have to turn very much. Breathing in as the head goes to the left. And breathing out as the head gently goes to the right. And do this a couple more times using your own breath pattern to go from side to side. And then coming back to the centre, stay where you are and take one hand, it doesn't matter which, and bring your fingertips to the centre of your forehead. You'll feel this little dip there, and that's your third eye. It's your Ajna centre, centre of intuition, knowledge. And just gently make little circles, it doesn't matter which way you go, circling around the centre of your forehead. And then just trace your fingertips from one side of the forehead, tracing across the forehead and coming off at the temple on the other side. It's a very soothing movement, especially if you have a slight headache, just tracing the fingers, doesn't matter which hand, always go in the same direction. And then finally, to acknowledge the top of the head, which is the crown chakra, our very busy part, just touch your fingertips to the crown chakra, just cradling your head for a moment. And then just very gently release your hands and place your hands now back onto your abdomen. And just notice as you breathe in and out, your abdomen will just slightly expand on the inhale and just contract slightly away from your hands on the exhalation. And then just raise your hands up slightly so your elbows will open out more towards your ribs. And just cradle your ribs and notice as you breathe in that your ribs expand on the in-breath and just fall away from your hands slightly on the out-breath. And then very gently move your fingertips as your elbows come into your collarbones. And just imagine the air coming in, filling you up to your collarbones. And then relax, bringing your hands to wherever they're comfortable on your body. And we come now to a very simple, what's called a brain kriya. And if you're intrigued, it is that certain sounds are said to affect and have an impact on parts of the brain. So you don't have to join in, and but or just remember it for another time, or you can listen to me. But the word hrim, H-R-I-M, hrim, if you repeat it to yourself, it's meant to activate the frontal lobe of the brain. So hrim, hrim, hrim. For those of you who are muted, just keep it quiet. But hrim, hrim, hrim is meant to activate the central front part of the lobe. Hrim, hrim, hrim. And then the left hemisphere of the brain is believed to be activated by shrim, by saying shrim, 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 shrim. And you can carry on repeating this, but it's just a taster. And then finally, the right part of the brain is meant to be activated by the words klim, K-L-I-M, klim, klim, klim. So it's just touching on the fact that we can activate the energies of our brain. And that brings me to the next part of the Yoga Nidra. So a Yoga Nidra is like psychic sleep, but what it actually does is to have an impact on the brain in that it brings the brain's waves down from beta and slows them down. It's meant to bring them down to delta, but in any case, it can slow the brain waves down. And the Yoga Nidra itself is touching verbally on parts of the body which engages the mind at a very subtle level, and that rotation of consciousness around the body is called a nyasa, and it can be deeply relaxing. It affects your nervous system, it calms the brain waves down. So just start by being comfortable. You might like to stretch your legs out. If you've got a blanket you'd like to have, then wrap up, please do, or support under your head, please do. And this particular meditation, for those of you who are interested, comes from the meditations from the Tantras, and it's by Swami Satyananda Saraswati. So if you're seated, then just close your eyes very gently. And start by becoming aware of the whole body. The whole body. And then we come to the next part of the Yoga Nidra, which is an intention or a resolve. It's a short sentence that's important to you, and it can be wishing well for somebody else, or it can be for yourself. It's a wish that you have. And in Sanskrit, this is called your sankalpa. It's mentally set your resolve, and then you mentally repeat it again. And then having set your intention, just let that go. And come to focus on where the body is actually resting, either on the ground or if you're seated, which parts of your body are actually touching and connecting with either the chair or the ground. And concentrate now on the point where the right heel touches the floor. Bring your mind to your right heel, your left heel, your right calf muscle, left calf muscle, right hamstring, left hamstring, the right buttock and the left buttock, the right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, right hand, left hand, right elbow, left elbow, the back of the head. Concentrate on the meeting points only where the body and the ground touch each other. Now concentrate on where the two eyelids meet. Concentrate on the meeting point where the eyelids touch the two eyes. Move your consciousness now from the eyelids to the meeting points of the lower and upper lips. And become aware of your breathing. This form of psychic Shodhinadana is focusing on your left nostril and your left side. Breathe in through your left nostril, hold the breath, and breathe out, focusing on your right side as you breathe out through your right nostril. Breathe in through the right nostril, hold, and mentally focus on breathing out through your left nostril, not round. Breathing in, focusing on your left nostril, your left side. Breathing out through the right side. Focus breathing in through the right side, and then breathing out through the left side. And we'll do one more round as we breathe in, focusing on the left side. Breathe out through the right side. Breathe in through the right side. Pause. And breathe out through the left side. And come to revisit that sankalpa that you made at the beginning of this practice. And mentally repeat that sankalpa to yourself a couple of times to once more set the intention and then let it go. And now come to imagine seeing yourself lying or sitting as if you're looking at yourself through a mirror. And relaxing where you are, we come through to the Tibetan sound therapy. So this balances the chakras and harmonizes them with the energy field. And healing through sound and vibration reduces stress, blood pressure, it improves energy flow in the body, boosts immunity, it balances the brain hemispheres and removes mental and emotional negativity and increases calm and creativity. The human body comprises up to 70% water, and the vibration through sound creates a mandala, which is a pattern within the body that resonates at the cellular level and is both healing and relaxing. once more come to be aware of where you are, the parts of your body touching either the ground or your seat. You can stay exactly where you are, you don't have to come up. Or if you want to come up to a seated position, then start to move fingers and toes. Maybe hug your knees into your chest. Take your time. The invitation is to stay exactly where you are. And I'm going to just tune out with a gong to bring this session to a close. Thank you. And then staying where you are, if you would like to ask any questions or just tune out, then please do. Karen and I are here for any questions that you might have about anything at all. So thank you. You might need to unmute yourselves if you've got a question to ask. I forgot to say that.
Hello?
So, yes.
I want to say that was absolutely lovely.
Oh,
Thank you.
thanks.
Wonderful.
Well, thank you very much for your lovely session too, the EFT session. For those of you, I'm kind of thinking of perhaps putting another one on like this next month, at the end of next month, but I'll let people know if they're around, that is. But yes, please, if you've got any questions, please do ask. The koshis, people have often asked me about them before. So a koshi is, there are only 4 of them and they link to the elements. And the elements that they link to, as there are only 4 of them, are earth, water, fire, and then air. And they all intermingle one another. That always strike me as fairy bells. And you can't necessarily see him, but the singing bowls that I've got here correlate to an octave. So it doesn't matter where you are in, and the same with gong baths, not that I've got gong, but those of you, I know some of you have been to gong baths. So each sound, regardless, has a resonance within you, and you pick up on that resonance that you need to heal. So even if you fall asleep and you're not even aware of the resonance going on, the resonance has a healing quality because it sets up a vibration, and the vibration, again, is the opposite to stagnation. So it is a movement, it just starts to move things and sense, it gets energy just sort of shifting, shimmering. Yes. Anyway, I'm going to be quiet. Please ask any questions. Please ask Karen any questions about EFT. In fact, I've got a question, Karen. I noticed when you're tapping, you can use one hand, can you? You don't have to use 2 hands.
You don't have to, you can use 2. Some people, and if you do use 2, it's probably best to do it bilaterally because you're keying into both parts of the brain.
Right, okay.
Both parts of your body. So if you're going to do this, then do it bilaterally.
Okay.
It doesn't matter which side you use. Some people have a preference. Same with the sore spot. One hand or 2 hands, whatever people prefer, really.
Okay.